14,000 people just like Liam applied to the United States Military Academy at West Point, New York. They whittled it down to 4,500 who were considered as the best and the brightest. Most of them were A students, most of them were scholar athletes, captains of their teams, 4,500. But only out of that group, 2,500 were chosen for the final group to be accepted. And they had to make a decision. Only 1,400 were admitted as plebes, first-year students at the United States Military Academy. Not all of them lasted. 1 out of 5 lasted the whole 4 years. I'm sorry, 1 out of 5 didn't last. And they're trying to figure this out. Well, what is it that allows these kids, these men and women, to make it through this? And granted, if you've never been there, and I had the opportunity for 5 years to watch them come in, just like Liam. They had 90 seconds to say goodbye to mom and dad and the family, and then they were taken away. And all of the men were taken into the barber shop, and their hair was gone, all of it. And they were given their issued clothing. And for the next 4 years, that was what they wore. But not all of them made it through the 7 weeks that were ahead of them, called Beast Barracks, or the Beast. Every day started at 5 o'clock and it ended at 10 o'clock with taps every night. And in between was not their time anymore. It had nothing to do about them. They broke you down so they could build you up. They took it all away. 60, 70 never made it through Beast Barracks. They went home. And remember, this was the best and the brightest. These were the high achievers, but they didn't make it. So what is it? What is it about a person that allows them to get through this? In 1955, they invited a psychologist to West Point to try to figure this out. What is success? How do people achieve it? And over the years, they had other psychologists coming and trying to understand how people do it. They hired yet another person. Her name was Angela Duckworth. Bright woman. She had a BA from Harvard in neurobiology, and then she went to Oxford to get her master's in neuroscience. And then she went to University of Pennsylvania to get her PhD. And she was asked to come and study these young men and women to see what it was that got them through. Now, keep in mind, the United States Military Academy, like the other academies, they had their tests and their standards and their criteria in trying to figure this out. She came up with something, realizing that it had nothing to do, again, this is a bright woman, it had nothing to do with intelligence, had nothing to do with your scores. It had nothing to do with your physical prowess, your talents, your abilities. What gets people through is what she called grit. Angela Duckworth has spent time with people at the White House, not the present White House. She spent time with people in the NFL, CEOs, educators, trying to determine what is the theology of success and who, more than anyone else, does not want success for their child. You do. And what she came up with is what she called grit. That's what these people have, whether it's the CEOs, whether it's salespeople, because if you're a salesperson, you drop out quickly. It has to do with grit, which is about passion and perseverance. So throw grit into what Daryl was saying. what I want to tell you sounds really out of place. And what I want to tell me, and each one of us, may sound out of place. But Liam, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make, as Daryl said, a lot of mistakes. Matter of fact, the CEO of Coca-Cola called upon all of the rank and file within Coca-Cola, basically to get over your fear of making mistakes like we did with New Coke. It didn't work. And he said to them, if we're not making mistakes, we're not trying hard enough. So accept the fact you're going to make mistakes. And I hate to tell you this too, but you're going to fail. Look around. Ask your mom and dad. You're going to fail. They failed. We have failed at something in our life. At Smith College in Western Massachusetts, a college for women, they have created a program called Failing Well. Isn't it fun when you go to college, the courses they have now? Failing Well. So when you enroll in this program, you receive a certificate of failure that declares that, quote, they are hereby authorized to screw up, bomb, or fail at a relationship, a project, a test, or any other initiative that seems hugely important, and you will still be a worthy, utterly excellent human being. You will fail. We have failed. Tell me if you can guess who this is. When he was 7 years old, his family was forced out of their home on a legal technicality, and he had to work to help support the family at 7 years of age. At age 9, his mother died. At age 22, he lost his job as a store clerk. At 23, he went into debt to become a partner in a small store. At 26, his business partner died. At 28, after courting a girl for 4 long years, he asked her to marry him. She said no. At 37, on his third try, not his second, his third try, he was elected to Congress. But 2 years later, he failed to be reelected. At 41, his 4-year-old son died. At 45, he ran for Senate, and he lost. He failed. At 47, he failed as vice presidential candidate. But at age 51, he became, after all of that failure, after all of that suffering, he became the President of the United States of America. And his name was Abraham Lincoln. But he failed. He made mistakes. And so will you, and so have each one of us here. And there's another thing that you would do. You will suffer. Each one of us have. It's a part of life. You feel pain. Your heart is ripped from your chest. We suffer. Ask Jesus. When he's hanging on the cross and he said, my God, why have you forsaken me? I wonder what that sounded like. Was he angry? My God, why have you forsaken me? Or is it one of sadness and such incredible pain? My God, why? You're the one I love. You're the one I trust. And you've abandoned me. Where are you now? Or ask Elie Wiesel and the countless others who were in Auschwitz and had to suffer the Holocaust. And yet his life is incredible in terms of what he has produced as a human being. But maybe we don't even have to talk about Jesus and Elie Wiesel and others. Maybe we just talk about the students at Santa Fe High School in Texas. Maybe we talk to the people in Hawaii about suffering, or the people who endure a flood or a hurricane yet again that may come and hit Puerto Rico or other parts of the country. Each one of us has had pain in our life. We've experienced loss. So that's really nice. You know, it's supposed to be upbeat and say, Liam, it's going to be great and wonderful, but Liam, you, like all of us, you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to fail, and you're going to feel pain, and life is not going to be easy. The sixth attitude in mindfulness is acceptance. It's just a willingness to see things for what they are. To say, yeah, I'm really sad right now. To say it. To acknowledge it. I'm sad. To say, I'm a real screw-up. I failed. To say it. To acknowledge it. Not to get stuck there, but just to realize, yeah, this is the moment. But guess what? I'm going to be okay. How often do we deny what we feel? How often do we avoid it? Do we run away from it? I think I mentioned to you, maybe I didn't, but when my sister lost her husband on 9/11 in the first tower, you can either walk through grief as every single person had to do in that horrific tragedy, or you can walk around grief. You can medicate yourself. You can not try to feel it. You can not accept what is. But that just creates even more problems. I don't know why some people suffer more than others. I think it sucks. It's not fair. But I know, just as you sang, you know, your life is not just about you alone. Your life is about the people who support you and love you and hold you. Your life, our life, my life, is about something greater than myself that will always, whatever we face in life, will be present, will be there for you. So if you have a blender, throw in the pain, throw in the suffering, throw in the mistakes, throw in the failure, but throw in the grit, and throw in the acceptance of the fact it is what it is. And out of that, when you throw it all and mix it all together, you come out of it, you're okay, you're going to be okay. Yes, your life is different. Yes, your life has changed. But you don't give up. You don't get stuck. You take the next step. And you reach out, and someone will be there to support you. You will be okay. And you have everything that you need. And I have everything that I need. Because I'm not in this alone. I have people who love me. I have a God, and Psalm 139 is so wonderful. If you listen carefully, we have a God, no matter where you go, up or down, no matter if you're in the darkness of life, in total despair, you are not alone. And you will walk out of that darkness back into the light. Despite the horrendous tragedy, despite the loss in your life, you will be okay. It's not easy. Acceptance is not easy, but it's part of the journey. Just know, whatever happens to us, and we don't know what will come tomorrow, but you will be okay. We will be okay. Because we do this together.